Hi, I'm Andy Gray, and I think this is going to be a fascinating season in the Premier League this year. And for various reasons, I'm going to give you 10 players who I think have got big seasons ahead or have to prove something not only to themselves but to their fans. I think the young Welshman has tremendous potential. He played plenty of games last year, was even made captain of his country last year as well. And I do think that with Fabregas gone and out, that Aaron Ramsey, the importance of Aaron Ramsey will be there for all to see, and Arsene Wenger will use him much more this season. So I think the young boy's qualities will be tested severely this year, and I think he's good enough, and I think he'll be up to the challenge. Chelsea haven't signed many this year, but the player I'm going to pinpoint for them, it's so important, is a player they signed last year, and that's a £50 million striker, Fernando Torres. What a summer he must have had, the lad. He must have been, not in turmoil, but he must have been sat there by his pool or on the beach thinking, have I lost it? Has it all gone? Am I a spent force? These things go through your mind when you're a striker. You're having a bad time. I should know, I've been there. But I do think this guy has got talent, and I still think his team are learning how to play with him. I'm hoping that the new coach will have sorted that out, and that Torres is taking the summer to get rid of all these little niggles, and he comes back 100%. Because if this guy is 100% and he's mentally 100%, he will still be a threat and he will still score plenty of goals for Chelsea. So massive year for Fernando Torres. I just hope it comes good for him, because I really admire the player. He's one of these I just love watching. Liverpool have spent big since Kenny went there. 3 big signings in the summer, maybe more to come. 2 big signings in January. And it's one of those that I'm going to pinpoint because, and it's not Andy Carroll, it's Luis Suarez. Because this is a difficult league, such a difficult league to come into if you've never played in it before. And the Dutch league, where they brought him from, isn't the best, it isn't the toughest league you're ever going to play in. And I was curious to see how he'd settle. I thought he did brilliantly. Settled great, creating goals, scoring goals. I thought Kenny must have been delighted with his purchase. He's had the summer, he's had a pre-season now, and I do think that if Liverpool are going to be potential title winners this year, the Luis Suarez and Andy Carroll combination has got to work. I think it'll work with Suarez. I think he's got genuine talent, genuine qualities, the perfect link player almost. Can play midfield, can play up front, but likes to play in between both, and he's a perfect player to do that with the abilities he has. Big year for him. I have picked a few strikers in this 10 to watch this year. That's because I'm biased in all this. But I just love people who can score goals. It's the most difficult job in football to do. That's why they get paid an awful lot of money. That's why they command the biggest transfer fees, because it's difficult to do. And Manchester City have spent £38 million of the Sheikh's money and bringing in Aguero from the Spanish league. Now, in La Liga, he was a threat and he played well and he scored lots of goals. But I don't think there's a strength and depth in the Spanish La Liga that there is in the Premier League. And you'll find that going to teams 3rd, 4th, 5th bottom in Spain, he could maybe get goals. It wasn't that difficult. In this league, it's difficult. But he's a powerful player. I think physically he looks like he can take this league on. But it'll be interesting to see how quickly he settles. Will he be a Suarez, a Berbatov, who came in and immediately showed what great players they were, or will he take a year to settle? Will he be a Dzeko? And that must be in their minds at Manchester City. Edin Dzeko was great at Wolfsburg in Germany in the Bundesliga, but didn't really settle at Manchester City. They'll be hoping Aguero can settle quickly this year. Well, Sir Alex has been busy this summer, and he's almost creating a new team, a new young breed of United player to be his next successful team, squad, whatever you want. And one of the players he's bought this summer, I know quite a bit about. I've watched him a lot. I live in the Midlands. I watched his old side a lot. I've watched him grow up, first at Watford, then at Aston Villa, and that's Ashley Young. Now, a lot of players, when they go to big clubs, mentally they don't get it. And United have got a history of people who were really good players in smaller clubs, went to their own club, went to United and never really hacked it. Gary Bittles will admit for one that he found it difficult. Our very own Alan Brazil found it difficult to go from Ipswich to Manchester United. So it's not easy, but this kid, I think, is made for United. I think he's one of those that walked through the doors at Old Trafford and went, this is my stage. I think it's a really shrewd signing from Sir Alex. It was an area of the pitch with Ryan Giggs now being 37, 38 years of age, and with Ji-Sung Park just being industrious, not really the most creative footballer, that I think they needed to strengthen. And plus, what he's done also is put pressure on Nani and Valencia to make sure they perform this year or they won't be in the side. So I think Ashley Young will be a massive success for Manchester United, and I really look forward to see him playing there. The next one is a young lad again who I have to confess I don't know a lot about. I know his reputation, it was in the lower leagues. Now it's really hard to come from the Championship and step up to the Premier League. If he does what Kevin Phillips did when he went to Sunderland from a lower league, wow, I tell you what, Sunderland will be happy again. That's what they're looking for. I'm talking about Sunderland and I'm talking about Connor Wickham. You know, Steve Bruce has spent big this summer. He's brought loads of players in, Wes Brown and John O'Shea's as well in there. Good experienced footballers. Craig Gardner from Birmingham City, Seb Larson, all these players that he's brought in, really good players. But the one I think where he's spent the money on, he's taken a chance. Everybody watched Connor Wickham. All the big boys looked at him and thought, maybe not yet. But Steve has put his money where his mouth is, and he's been backed by his chairman again, and they bought Connor Wickham in. So he's one to have a look at, see how he starts. If he gets a goal quickly, he might just have a great season, but don't be surprised if he has a little struggle at some time this year. Big pressure on the kid. Let's hope he can cope with it. Well, much has been written about this player over the summer. Will he stay? Will he go? I'm talking about Tottenham Hotspur, and I'm talking about Luka Modric. I have to confess that when he arrived, I thought he was too light and frail and fragile to actually play in the centre of midfield. And I know Harry used him on the left side of midfield an awful lot before Gareth Bale burst onto the scene. And as soon as he did, he had to find another position for Modric. And I thought he might play him off the front. But he hasn't. He said, you're playing the middle of midfield. And goodness me, has he surprised me. Great talent, much stronger than he looks. And huge ability to create goals and score goals. And you understand why Harry is so keen to keep Luka Modric. So whatever he is, if he goes to Chelsea, it's a massive season for him there. If he stays at Tottenham, it's an equally big season, because mentally I don't know how he's going to be. Is he going to start the season flat and disappointed that Chelsea didn't get him? Or will he say, no, I'm going to get stuck in for Tottenham again? I get the feeling, listening to what people say about his mentality, that even if he's still at Tottenham, he'll give it 100%. So I'm really looking forward to see this man play again this year. Another young player in this 10 to watch, and I think a pivotal season for him. One of my old clubs, Everton, I've got a bunch of young kids who are excellent footballers. But the one I think who really has to step forward this year and make a mark and say, I've arrived and I'm in the side and I'm staying in the side, Jack Rodwell. Immense talent, wonderful on the ball, graceful mover, can pass it, can tackle. I think the thing for Jack is, we're not quite sure what he's going to end up as. Is he going to end up as a midfield player? Or is he going to end up, as many thought a year or two ago, as a centre-back? I don't know yet, but I think what Jack needs to do, and David Moyes needs to do, is find a position for him and say to him, that's where you're going to play, Jack, so go make it your own. So big season for the young lad at Everton, but I hope he can do it. Another one of my old clubs I'm talking about here, and that's Aston Villa. You know, when you lose not only the manager through illness, you lose two of your best wide men, Stuart Downing and Ashley Young, you think, wow, what else can happen? Your goalkeeper, who's been sensational in the time he's been at Aston Villa, decides he wants to go. And he goes to Tottenham, Brad Friedel, and he leaves a huge vacuum there. But in saying that, I think Alex McLeish has done a brilliant piece of business. Shea Given, in my opinion, one of the Premier League's all-time best goalkeepers, sitting on his backside at Manchester City doing nothing. Alex says, do you want to come and play at a big club, Shea? get yourself down here. And I'm delighted with the signing. I think the transition will be seamless. I think Shea will come in and love playing at Villa Park. It's a great stadium, it's a great club, and so I think this is a great piece of business. I don't ever worry about Shea Given. I think he'll be a success. When you come up as a championship side, your big players from the season before, you pray that they're going to do it again, they're going to hack it, they're going to influence your team. Blackpool last year, they came up with Charlie Adam being a star, controlling games and doing everything they wanted. Many people thought Charlie couldn't do it in the Premier League at Blackpool. He did. He more than did, and that's why he got his move to Liverpool. Now, QPR are in a similar situation. Adel Taarabt was sensational for them last year. He's a little, give him the ball and give the rest of the team another ball. He loves the ball himself. He frustrates the life out of his teammates and his manager. But he has that bit of stardust, or he did last year, that little bit of magic that can win you games. Now, if they keep him, and it looks like they might, Neil Warnock needs him to perform on a regular basis at the highest level. I don't know. I think the jury's out in Adel Taarabt at this level. I hope in 12 months' time I'm sitting here saying he was sensational. He did just what Charlie Adam did. Let's wait and see. So that's my 10 to watch for various reasons, and they all have pressure on them to perform. The one thing we're certain of, that 12 months from now there'll be others who have come busting out the scene and made themselves superstars, but I think that's a nice collective 10. It's a nice variation of a 10, and I think we'll all enjoy watching them.